In this exercise, we're going to follow on from our previous version of countries. So I've opened up countries version 1. The first activity is to format the title here. The title is India, and what we want to do is to center the text. So I'm going to click here and center the text. And then you can see that it's quite close to the text below it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a paragraph here and click on this little arrow. And then I'm going to put a 12-point spacing after. So there it is, 12. And you can see that just separates the text a little bit. And then the instructions ask me to put it in a different type of font. So I'm going to find the font Verdana, which is here. Okay, and then I'm going to put that into Verdana 14 point and leave it as bold. So there we have India 14 point bold. Now the second paragraph here, I'm going to decide to put that again in Verdana, but this time in 10 point, and then fully justify it so that the right and left hand sides are justified, and again put some spacing afterwards. I'm going to put a 12-point spacing afterwards and make the line spacing 1.5 so that it's reasonably well spread out. We can see that that looks a lot easier to read now than the very tight text that we've got here. One very useful feature in Word is this little paintbrush here. This is the format painter, and whatever formatting you've got on a particular paragraph, so I'm just clicked in the middle of this paragraph here, I can click onto there and then select text below it, and it will all be put into exactly the same format. It's a very, very useful tool. I can now use my format painter quite happily to put Australia in the same format as India and Greece as the titles, and then I can scroll back up and I can put all the text into here, and again into there. My document is now beginning to take shape. At the end of these, if I wanted this to be a sort of lesson, I could add some numbers. So click on bullet point there and type in what is the capital of India, and then I could put in some other questions below. Again, it is possible to put these in a different font. So I could use Verdana 10 point, but instead of spacing them out like this, I might want to just put them as 6 points so that the bullet points are slightly closer together. I can do that for all 3 of my countries. And then one very useful final aspect is to decide to do a spell check on my document to make sure that all the words are spelled correctly. I'm looking through and I can see that mountain is incorrect, so I want to correct that. And I can see that important is incorrect because it's red line, so I right click and I can click on there. And finally, if I want to do a proper spell check, I can click on review here and then go up to spelling and grammar. There we are, and now it looks through and it allows me to change any of those that have been incorrectly spelt. Once the spelling check is complete, I'm going to save my document again. This time I'm going to call it countries version 2 because obviously it's a different version, and save that, and this one as countries 2 is now ready to mark.